What's up, people? This is Alex from Krispy, and this is the beginning of my Born Free 17 build. Here's the bike behind me. I already started taking it apart, and I forgot to do this intro thing. So here we are. This is a 1952 panhead that I purchased off of the good old marketplace. It's far from original, minus the drivetrain and the frame and all that, which, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's original enough for the platform that I want to build for Born Free. I will not be using the frame because these frames are super rare. They're a 1 year only. They got some special things, and this one looks like absolutely perfect. So I'm going to save it for something in the future. The reason that I picked a 1952 is because that was the year that my dad was born, and right over here on the wall, so I'll show you guys, it's my old man on his 1952 panhead. This is kind of how our entire world started. He inherently built this bike in a carport, and when he was done with it and started riding it around, he met some gentleman that was like, dang, that bike's really cool. Would you humor starting a shop with me? This guy had some money. We did not, but my dad was like, for sure, I've always had the dream to be a bike builder and so on and so forth. So this bike inherently started everything for us. Sadly, because of business and, in my opinion, some poor decisions, he sold this bike to help fund the business, which I learned from him. Never sell your main horse to fund anything, because money comes and goes, baby. So I personally still have my first bike over here. I will never sell that bike. And I advise anybody else, keep your first bike. I've said this in many other videos. You can never get them back. And if you do, they're never going to be the same. So just hold on to it. Money comes and goes. It's never worth it financially. There's other ways to try to come up with cash or whatever. But anyway, so that's how it all started. Here we are. Inherently, I'm probably around 30 years later, right? And I've been in the game for 22. Once I proved I wasn't going to go to school and do the school thing, I started working at his shop. And that was right around 17 years old. So anyways, back to the bike. I'll put Dad back up where he oversees. Also in that photo, he was having a hell of a time getting that thing started. So he's actually really frustrated in that picture, which is also cool because that's what panheads will do. This one, on the other hand, starts right up. It's super dialed. Lucky for me, I guess, in that regard, I didn't have to do a bunch of work to get it running. Even though when I bought it, the guy was like, it needs a battery, this and that, which always blows my mind. Like, put a battery in it. You can get a way better deal, because you better believe, because I couldn't start it, because it wasn't as original as this gentleman thought. He did not get anywhere close to what he dreamt of. But for him, it was a bike that he inherited and no longer wanted. So he wasn't into it much, so I got really lucky. It's one of the more expensive bikes I've ever owned personally, because most of the bikes I buy, we tend to have to use them to pay the bills and cover overhead. So I gotta, turn and burn them, make them better for you guys and sell them. But this one obviously is sticking to the bone. I'll most likely part most of it out and sell a lot of it to help recoup some of the cost of purchasing it. Once again, I'm not too concerned about getting rid of that stuff because not a lot of it's original 52. Only what I'm keeping, and like I said, I'm going to keep the chassis for a future bike, do something that's all original 52. I honestly want to own a fleet of 52 stuff, from cars, bikes, to I even have a 52 Schwinn. I think year stuff's really rad, especially without my old man and all that. None of this would be happening. Also, I'm just really grateful that Born Free asked me to do this. This bike is going to be absolutely insane. Hands down, it's going to be the craziest bike I've ever built, and it will be interesting to see if I ever go to this level in a bike again. Probably, if life allots it, we'll see. But the business, as of right now, this is for the business. I think it's going to be really good for Krispy. For me, as the owner and founder, to kind of show what my bike building skills are. Over the past several years at Krispy Co., I've really focused on making parts that we can manufacture and redo, so they're not super elegant and crazy. They're just really simple, easy to reproduce, and hopefully to be at a like comfortable cost point for our consumers and fellow choppers. And really our big support, or our big push now, is to support like bike builders, right? Like our biggest mantra around here is create more builders, right? So we don't build custom bikes for people. We just build the bikes that we want for the shop, for R&D, and or, you know, we do really cool giveaways where we give the bikes back to the community in unique and wonderful ways, right? So, and then everything else, yeah, we just keep. So, but we do some service where we build out rolling chassis that use our hardtail kit, a bunch of our parts, and a bunch of parts that we carry, and stuff from our friends that carry other stuff. So we'll build rollers, but we really want you guys to like build out and do the rest of that. So anyways, I'm promoting, pushing the company into things, but that's what this is all for, right? Like, one, I get to build a bike in memory of my old man. It's a huge opportunity. Born Free has obviously been a huge entity in my life. To finally become an invited builder is just like beyond insane. I'm super, super, super like honored opportunity, right? Like those guys have high expectations of people that build. I definitely want to meet them. So I'll get into more of like the details of the bike. I'm going to try to document it as best I can. I got a really cool fancy tripod over here that eventually will follow me and do stuff. And I will try to document this build as much as possible, show it in real time. I'm not going to be like, surprise, look at this rad thing I did. I'll do that. I'll talk about my thinking around it. And ideas. You'll probably see some trial and error. Like I'm going to be using a lot of mediums that I've personally never worked with. So, which is cool. And it's not just because I'm like, I want to be rad and do something. No, like these really work into my design. And I'm like, shit, I've never actually done this. So I'm going to have to figure it out. But one of the coolest things that my old man instilled into me was metal's metal, motor's a motor, like shit is shit, dude. Like it doesn't matter. Once, if you have a creative mind, you can come up with the concepts, usually the hardest part. And then if you can, you have some kind of mechanical abilities or whatever, blah, blah. I don't know. I've been around making things pretty much my entire life, from building dirt jumps, forts, to motorcycles, houses, like all that stuff. Like once you learn, you can really do anything, especially with the internet today. Like you don't know how to do it, man. Just freaking YouTube college that shit. So that's where I'm at. It's hard for me to picture things. I really like to picture my process and all this stuff and how I'm actually going to pull this off. So it was really interesting in this bike. This was probably several days ago when it finally all clicked, because I had some of these really crazy ideas of how I want to incorporate some certain mediums, and I never worked with them, and I haven't really seen them worked with. It's all there. I just didn't really look into it yet. It was really hard for my brain to like want to move forward on the project, because unless I can imagine myself kind of doing it and working with something, it's really hard for me to move forward, which some people would say in like a real freaking woo-woo way. It's like, it's kind of how manifestation works, right? Like you want to manifest something, imagine it, vision it, like really see it happening. And in all honesty, I really kind of feel that's how this whole thing has created, right? Like I didn't realize I was practicing manifestation processes, but it's kind of it's either magical or just logic, right? Like think about it, try to imagine it, and then just like execute it to the best of your ability. Like everything will lay itself out in front. Like you just got to take the first step, and then answers happen as you go. Some people really get stuck on like, well, unless I've got the whole thing figured out, I can't move forward. That is the biggest killer in any creative outfit, man. Like just go, trial and error. Do it, screw up, figure out you're climbing the wrong mountain, get to the next mountain, like haul ass. Dude, like fail often, fail frequent, right? It's like there's all that cliche ass shit. So I'm gonna do a bunch of that on this thing. It's Saturday, November 22nd. It's early morning, sun is shining, dogs are sunbathing. I've got a freaking 1952 panhead I'm stripping down. I cannot believe it. This is like an absolute dream come true. So the rest of this video I think is just gonna be the time lapse of me tearing this bike down, and then maybe I'll recap at the end on kind of where I'm at with the bike and what I found, if there was anything interesting or disturbing. Hopefully not too much disturbing stuff, but I think regardless, whatever I come up against, it's just the way it is, man. So Yeah, anyways, on to the show. All right, my friends, and that is that. For you, that was really quick and easy. And for me, it was a little bit longer and a little bit harder. Anyways, all went well. There was literally no crazy hard things. I didn't have to cut one bolt. The bike came apart really, really well. I think that's due to it being restored within the last God knows how long, but the bike was put together and rebuilt at some point. I don't know if it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but all in all, it was all like new hardware and all that kind of stuff, which another good sign for when you're taking something apart, see if stuff's original or what's been done. Had a bunch of zinc hardware on there that definitely wasn't from the time, not very period correct. As of now, I am still pretty confident that the frame is original. The reason I think the frame is original, because in 52, the front motor mount was a 1 year only where they filled in the sides and they left the center still concaved in the cast. And this one has that, and I don't think they did repops that had that. If anybody knows any of that stuff, classic YouTube shit, you can leave it in the comment and tell me I'm wrong. Maybe there was an aftermarket frame like that. The reason I even question it is the frame is like too nice, but maybe I just got lucky and got like a next to perfect frame. The only issue is one of the rear tank mounts was like redone and it's a little bit goobery, super easy fix, and toolbox mount was cut off. So who knows? The welds look kind of legit. I'll do some more research, real or not. I don't even care. If it's real, I'm way more happy. But if it's not, so be it. It's still a nice frame. Transmission looks to be 52, and the engine, which I'm really excited to say, has matching belly numbers. When I bought the bike, it was on the side of a house. The sun was going down, it was getting dark, and the dude was a little weird that I was trying to put tools on the bike and do this and that. I was like, hey man, it's a big expense. Like, I need to double check and make sure this stuff's real, because if so much of the bike is aftermarket and it been changed, and you're obviously saying that the bike's original in your original post, clearly you don't know what you're talking about. Not to say that I know anymore, but I know enough that a bunch of it wasn't original. So I need to check some stuff out, because I'm not going to hand you that kind of money if everything's aftermarket and the engine's not even real. That's a huge problem, right? So even though I won't disclose the price on the bike, but I paid for it as though I got a good deal, put it that way. I'm super happy with it. It has the original linker on there, which is awesome, but I couldn't do anyways, back to the belly numbers, I couldn't get the thing off. It got too dark and it was frustrating to get the skid plate off so I could see the other number. I could see that one belly number was there. It was a 52 dash, so on and so forth. And now that I got it off, I saw the other side. They are matching. It just, everything was like almost too nice and too good that you're like, I don't know if this is all real, man. Maybe it's aftermarket, re-stamped, but I'm pretty confident this is all real stuff. So that's good. Bumped my thumb one time. I only had one ouchie. Other than that, I didn't even draw any blood. It was a super good teardown. Let's see, started it at like, I think it was like 9 o'clock, and it's 4 or something. So whatever the math is on that. I also chilled. I had a nice lunch. It was an easy Saturday teardown. And while I was tearing it down, definitely was thinking about how I was going to build the bike. I will let the people that have stayed all the way here to the end, although I'm not using this frame, what I will show you, and I'll show this in some more stuff later, but right now I'll give you guys the inside scoop. Basically, I have all these wax bits here. So, John from Hardtail Choppers sent me all the cast bits in wax form. These are the axle plates for all of our hardtails with cast axle plates. So I'm going to do all kinds of modifying and do all the modifications in wax, then have them casted so that just save me a little bit of energy in the fab end. I'm going to do enough fab to prove my worthiness. I don't need to do enough on this. Here's like the neck, so I'll get to do all the like, you know, it sucks cutting a window out and doing all that kind of stuff, which obviously I'm going to do those kinds of things. I also wanted to add some stuff to the front of the neck, which it would definitely be better that it was cast in at its moment of being casted. So anyways, I can make all those changes and embellishments and all that stuff. I'll most likely still use this frame because I'm going to do a lot more cast stuff all over it, and I'll use it as a mock-up template to make a lot of my molds and stuff that I'll do more cast bits and what have you. Also, all the cast that's being done is all going to be stainless steel, so the whole chassis will be stainless steel. Like slightly torn whether or not I do some of it in mild and then paint it so it's stainless and paint. I haven't quite figured out if I want to go between the two or really end up with exposed metal on the bike, which would all be stainless and like non-ferrous stuff because I don't want things to rust. Same tank, I'm gonna hand make the tank and fender and all that stuff. That's all gonna be out of stainless as well. That kind of goes back to like the bikes I used to build when I was putting a lot more effort into making kind of crazier bikes. I was really big into showing the fabrication and the mechanics of things and not really hiding it all with paint and all that stuff, which paint's really cool. I'm not a painter, but I will do whatever paint will be done on this bike. I'm gonna do myself. I really don't want to hand too much off. I want to try to do as much of this as I can. We'll see to what degree, like if I'm gonna do polished cases and all that stuff, I might send all that out. I don't know if that's something I need to prove that I can do. Pretty time consuming, and I really probably gonna lack the patience in that. So nonetheless, here it is. This is the episode 1 of this build. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I can bring some more stuff to the table that's fun to watch and see come together. So anyways, thank you, Alex, Krispy Co. Check us out at our Instagram is crispy_crispy.co_ I think. Our website is crispychoppers.com, where we sell a bunch of stuff that we manufacture and other bits. We're very new in that realm, so a lot of growth is happening on that website. Everything that I like to use, I want on that website. So whether we make it or not, tried and true, if I dig it, it's gonna go on there, especially if it helps with a lot of the kits and products that we offer, that we make. We try to have everything that pairs with that on there as well. And I gotta thank everybody here at the shop, Sam, Ben, Pucky, Emily, for they're gonna be keeping the operations going while my attention gets diverted into this project. So I literally couldn't do without those guys as well. So yeah, just really grateful for everybody and their support, help, you guys watching and all that stuff. So thank you very much.